The first time I ever saw Latte store was with Daniel. He's the one that took me and a group of our friends, and we just went through the jungle and just had fun.
Where was it at?
Latte,
Lost Pond?
Yeah. And
Okay, here we go. This is good, all right? So let's start again and just say, the first time I ever saw Latte Stone, I was whatever age, and Danny took me, and it doesn't have to be exact, but then just tell the story of like going through the jungle, because that's cool. We don't even have jungles in Boston, so even when we hear the word jungle, we're like, they were walking through the jungle? Like it becomes interesting in ways that the essays don't, So we'll just do it like this. Ready? Here we go.
okay, wait.
Yep.
I'll start by saying when I was about 16 years old, I think that was the first time I met Daniel, and it was so interesting because he was so into motor culture, and he knew a lot of places like where the Latte sites are, and that was the first time he ever took me there, and it was the first time I ever saw a Latte site and Latte stones, and it was fun because it was in the jungle, and you can actually see things that you've never seen before. And I don't know, to me, when I'm in the jungle, you can actually feel the presence of our ancestors. Some people may say that that's scary and they don't want to deal with that, but to me, why be afraid when that was actually your relatives, your ancestors, and family? But yeah, it was fun. People are scared though. What do you think about that? Latte stones? Have you
Well,
seen
you were
more?
16,
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
I think with me, I was as far as back as I can remember, I was I think I was around that same age, 8 or between 8 to 10. It was actually kind of interesting because we actually didn't mean to come in contact with the Latte stone. We were just doing a trail, I guess. We're trying to look where's the best way we can walk through the jungle. So I was following my uncle and my grandfather as we're cutting down branches that are going in our way, trying to make the trail more or less straight. When my uncle cut off this branch, my grandfather cut off another branch. When they moved it out of the way, there stood these Latte stones. I don't even remember which set it was, but I just remember just standing there going, wow, look at this. It's in the middle of nowhere. I would ask my uncle, what is this? Who put this here? Did you put this here? So he'd be like, no, this is from our ancestors and all of that. So while they were cutting the trail, I was just stuck looking at it. And then later on I found out that it has two parts. Capstone toss-up, and then we have the main post that's coming off from the ground. We call that a lead.
Were you scared the first time?
No. And even after that, I was fascinated with it. I even remember at that age, I would find myself when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'd go over there just to see what it looks like when it's full moon and the moon lights up the jungle. I would go there like maybe 2-3 o'clock in the morning by myself, and I would just look at the way it looks.
To me, just thinking about it seems awesome to go there in the middle of the night when it's full moon. So it is. Oh, and I also heard that the same place where you took me to see the Latte sites, that there's more than one. Is that true?
Latte site?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's about more than 10, I think, Latte stone sets. All in different sizes. Some are taller than me, and then some are so it just depends on where you go.
So is that do you think that those Latte sites are just mainly for the house, or do you think some people think that it's also burial sites?
Both. It's in the historical record and throughout research that our ancestors, we built the Latte stones, we built houses over it, whether it be for us to stay in or to house our canoes. and then we bury our deceased loved ones right there at our house. I know they still do that in Samoa. Remember when we were in Samoa last year? I was very intrigued about how they still bury their dead right there in the vicinity of their own homes.
Yeah, I remember that when we went to Saipan, we saw one of those houses that
Yeah. So rather than going, to the other end of the island or somewhere else and burying your deceased loved one there, you would actually just bury them in a house next to the house, right?